Stations like Reng, Malakal, and Bali, iRadio offers
live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The Commissioner of Panga County in Jonglei State has appealed for urgent humanitarian assistance for flood-affected communities, citing severe shortages of food, shelter, and medical services. Vice President and Chairperson of the Economic Cluster, Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, has held talks with national and international oil companies in a push to increase crude oil production in Blocks 3 and 7 in Upper Nile State. And the government of South Sudan has paid tribute to former Central Bank Governor Dr. Othom Rago as his body was received at Juba International Airport following his death in Cairo after a battle with cancer. These are stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. The Commissioner of Panga County in Jonglei State has appealed for urgent humanitarian assistance for flood-affected communities, citing severe shortages of food, shelter, and medical services. Commissioner Johnson Kwal Guy made the call during a visit by the Assistant Chief of Defense Forces for Operations, General Kong Tho, who toured the area to assess the security situation and urged residents and organized forces to support peace efforts. Speaking on the government-run TV, the commissioner said, and I quote, "The community of Pangak is really suffering. The area is submerged. They have no food, no shelters, and not even a clinic. I'm appealing to all agencies operating in South Sudan to come and witness the situation." The commissioner added that due to poor network coverage, many displaced residents were unaware of the visit and could not gather at the administrative center. He emphasized the community's commitment to peace, but stressed that basic humanitarian needs must be addressed. Vice President and Chairperson of the Economic Cluster, Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, has held talks with the national and international oil companies in a push to increase crude oil production in Blocks 3 and 7 in Upper Nile State. The high-level meeting yesterday focused on long-term investment strategies, improving production infrastructure, and addressing ongoing operational challenges in the petroleum sector. Speaking to the national TV SSBC following the discussions yesterday, Petroleum Ministry Under-Secretary Deng Lual said the talks aim to align contractual frameworks with evolving field conditions while ensuring shared benefits for the government, contractors, and local communities. He said, and I quote, "Key highlights from the meeting included proposals for increased investment in Blocks 1, 2, 4, and 5A, and particularly Blocks 3 and 7. We also looked at extending field control agreements, scaling up production capacity, and integrating Block 5A into export pipeline," end quote. And Secretary Lual added that the discussions also emphasized the importance of local content, skills transfer, and employment creation in oil-producing regions. South Sudan's oil production has declined in recent years due to aging infrastructure, conflict-related disruptions, and market volatility. The government is seeking to attract new investment and stabilize output to support its heavily oil-dependent economy. The government of South Sudan has paid tribute to former Central Bank Governor Dr. Othom Rago as his body was received yesterday at Juba International Airport following his death in Cairo, Egypt after a battle with cancer. Speaking on behalf of President Salva Kiir and the government of South Sudan, Information Minister Michael Makwei led the tributes at Juba International Airport. Dr. Othom, former governor of the Bank of South Sudan, passed away after a long battle with cancer. His remains were welcomed by Vice President Taban Tengai, senior officials, and grieving family members. Eulogizing the late on the state TV SSBC, Makwei partly said, and I quote, "He had occupied many important positions in service to the people of South Sudan. On behalf of His Excellency, the President, the Vice President, especially Vice President Taban Deng, who joined us here, and the entire government, we offer our condolences to the family, relatives, and friends of the late Dr. Othom." Representing the family, Professor Daniel Thabo expressed gratitude to those who stood with them, encouraging loved ones to remain strong in their faith. He described Dr. Othom as a pillar of the nation whose work from the time of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement to his passing left a lasting legacy. This is iRadio Morning News, and now to the international scene. Malawi's former President Peter Mutharika has been declared the winner of last week's elections in a huge comeback for the 85-year-old. Official results show that he won 57% of the vote compared to the 33% of President Lazarus Chakwera, who is 70. Chakwera, a pastor before entering politics, considered defeat ahead of the final result being declared, phoning Mutharika to congratulate him on his historic win. Mutharika, a former law professor, served as president from 2014 to 2020 when he lost to Chakwera by a wide margin. Finally, Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud has said he is a prime target of the Islamist group Al-Shabaab, which is affiliated to Al-Qaeda. In an interview with the BBC's Paul Njay, he said the militants had tried to assassinate him 5 times in the last 2 years, most recently in March. He insists the group has been weakened. Analysts have, however, pointed to its recent territorial gains as evidence it remains a major threat. President Mahmoud also dismissed fears of clashes between Egyptian and Ethiopian peacekeepers in Somalia, saying his country would not become a battleground for regional disputes. This is iRadio Morning News. And to end this bulletin, is a recap of the headlines. The Commissioner of Anga County in Jonglei State has appealed for urgent humanitarian assistance for flood-affected communities, citing several severe shortages of food, shelter, and medical services. Vice President and Chairperson of Economic Cluster, Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, has held talks with national and international oil companies in a push to increase crude oil production in Blocks 3 and 7 in Upper Nile State. And the government of South Sudan has paid tribute to former Central Bank Governor Dr. Othom Rago as his body was received at Juba International Airport following his death in Cairo, Egypt after a battle with cancer. That's 10 to 5 Radio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 It's also a WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I'm Lasuba Memo. Thanks for listening.